Do what?
Josh.
Change the plugs. And third, I'm certainly not going to not test drive the car before I give it back to you to know that it's got rod knock.
See that? You feel that? Dude, the tires are splitting. It's separating.
Is it?
I think my car blew, by the way.
Here it is, blown motor. We need to pull it closer.
See? I told you!
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. What's up, guys? We are back here at the Parker Performance Garage today, and you guys have been asking for us to do like a daily vlog video. So we're gonna try and do that today, so bear with us. This EcoBoost came to us. The customer was having some issues with drivability, having some issues with some noise from the motor. And so we brought him in under the guise of our $50 EcoBoost diagnostic fee, which if you're not familiar with, if you've got something going on, you schedule an appointment with us for the $50 diag fee. We'll come out, we'll put our hands on it, we'll spend some time with it, we'll educate you and empower you to make the right decisions as to what repairs need to be done. Sometimes it's just upgrades, sometimes it's repairs. In this particular instance, this young man spent about $4,000 having a new motor put in this vehicle, and it has a new motor, a new turbo, and unfortunately it's leaking oil out of every orifice that the turbo has. On the bottom side of the turbo there for the drain line, it's got a creased return line. We found a lot of, oddities. This is, something where if you paid me to put a motor in your car, I'm gonna go ahead and do an oil change. I'm gonna go ahead and fill the coolant up, this kind of stuff. The oil had not been changed. It was the blackest oil I've ever seen come out of a motor. The coolant was low. The plugs were not changed. They were not even the right plugs for the motor. So we brought it in under that $50 EcoBoost diagnostic fee, and then ended up having to keep the car for a couple of days. In this instance, the blow-off valve lines and the check engine light the check engine light defender were just dangling. So we went through, cleaned up that part of the wiring harness. When they did the R&R on the motor, they had installed the wiring harness improperly here, so the O2 sensor would not mount on the anti-tick bracket for the fuel pump. We rerouted the wiring harness, we fixed up the O2 sensor wiring, we replaced that oil drain return line with a factory OEM Ford part. Shout out to our boys Joey and Eric at Ford of Port Richey. And so we've got that replaced now. We did find that there was an exceptional amount of oil in the intercooler charge pipes when we removed them. That's going to be typical if you've had a failed motor, which this vehicle did, and you did not clean the intercooler. The problem you're going to have is when the motor blows, you're going to get oil is going to get into the intercooler. You put it back together, you didn't clean the intercooler, now you're going to be sucking that blown motor oil back in through the intake tract. So we cleaned out the charge pipes really well. He is going to make the investment on an upgraded intercooler, so we're not going to replace his intercooler. We just cleaned everything for now, and he's going to put the intercooler on his next modifications to do. We also, just little performance maintenance stuff. We cleaned the K&N filter. This thing was as black as night when it came in, so we got that cleaned up. What else do we do on this thing here? Drain line. O2 sensor, wiring harness, blow-off valve wiring harness, change the plugs, oil change, correct oil filter, the wrong oil filter was on it. I think that's about it. So this is, this is a day in the life, right? Is you bring us the car, we're gonna go deep. We're gonna make sure that everything's right. And if we can't fix everything right on your current budget, we're gonna create a timeline and a takedown schedule with you to make it right over time. And this is the first thing we're working on today. Lightning piece. It's only got like half of the shit in it. Like, you can't make this shit up, boys.
You just can't tighten it either.
So yeah, it's all the way tight, and that's how loose it's gonna be. That's not good. This is gonna be the same way. Pretty much. All right, so bear with us, right? So this is still that new vlog style, so we're trying to figure out what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. We were just putting the car back together, everything's been buttoned up, and we went to go put the battery back on, and in doing so, the battery, there's a 10 millimeter here that holds the battery in place, and you can see this is loose, and you can see that comes right off. It's because there's actually additional pieces to this mount that come in and secure that. So this is actually all the way tightened, and you can still literally just remove it. So This is the kind of stuff that, unfortunately, when you take it to someone that doesn't work on these all the time, isn't a specialist in the S550 chassis, you know, maybe on an old Chevy 350 you use copper sealant. Maybe on a Chevy 350 car that has an old battery, you can take the battery terminal apart and not put it back together with all of its parts and it would secure. That's just not the case here. And so this is going to be a scenario where we're going to have to recommend new battery terminals to this customer as well. So.
Gauge wheels are not going to fit on that car. On sport lines, you can't just run like a 325 or some shit in there.
Knock knock. Who's there?
Definitely still rod dog.
Recording? Okay. So part of the diagnosis in this was we heard something that sounded like rod knock. We couldn't obviously go any further once we checked the oil and saw how bad the oil was. We needed to do an oil change and we needed to get some fresh oil in it, and we needed to be able to see what she did with fresh oil. So I don't know if Rick Pardo captured that on the startup there, but you got some excessive rod knock at startup. That's what the car was doing when it was brought to us. So now with fresh oil, sounds like maybe it's gonna be a little bit better. It's coming off of the cold start now, so out of the cold start, Zach will give it some revs and we'll see if the knock is present still. Oh yeah, he's definitely still gonna be knocking, and there's definitely still a vacuum leak somewhere. Oh, it's gonna be this. It's gotta be this hose. It's gotta be the vacuum hose. They've gotta have it hit, knock a hole in it somewhere. So I'm gonna have to replace the whole thing, I guess. But at this point, it's I'd say at this point, it's probably a moot point.
You want to check if the spring is too tight? Maybe it's
There it is. I found it.
found it.
It's right there. So it does have a hole in it that needs to be replaced, but that's not even our biggest issue. And it being too tight or too loose obviously isn't going to be the issue with the rod knock. So it's going to need a motor. Unfortunately, that's going to be.
It goes all along too, like how it's skipped. Yeah, that rev was probably 2200 when it started. Put it on the ground and make it level.
Yeah, so definitely replace this.
Holy shit.
Vacuum line will definitely change
Put it
the.
on the ground.
Got rod failure. The bearing clearances have failed. Bearing material is missing from either the crank side or the rod side, either way. Yeah, no, I just hate the outcome. Unfortunately, they sold this kid a f***ing beat motor. Clear.
And they didn't know any better.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if I had
Right
anything to replace
size.
this, but I'm just have to go get one.
And at that point, like you said, it didn't even worth spending the time going to get it. The motor probably not.
It's gonna need it anyway, so yes.
Yeah.
Day in the life, brother. Y'all wanted to see what a day in the life was?
Well, yeah, like now my position is compromised, right? Like, as a human being, like how do you charge this dude money for the stuff that we just did on a motor that's
Yeah.
but granted,
Not
we
your
did-
fault.
Not our fault. We did the work. and we fixed the problems that were problems that we could fix. But now, you know, he's back at square one, and $600 less out of, you know, in his savings account. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep. We're gonna go get the vacuum line and then we're gonna get some food. Tomorrow. Cool. Leaving tomorrow. I got you.
I guess the neighbors think I'm selling dope. I'm gonna have all your settings off. What's up, David boy?
Now look, I can't be living life with that thing strapped in either.
Are you serious?
Dead ass.
No way. That shit like cuts my neck, bro. Like that's why I strap it. Sorry, guys.
That's nutsack view. Not bad. Not bad, guys.
There we go.
The neighbors think I'm selling dope.
Oh, bust ass. Well, this is a first.
Yeah, it is a first, but that guy can make that work.
That would work.
Plug socket. Plus that has a little clamp on it.
That would for sure work. Thank you so very much, boss. Next stop.
Food joint, boy. Oh my God, look at that.
And I'm sorry, we had one change their mind from barbecue. Thank you so very much.
Yeah. You put that car there? Yo, look at all these hungry hyenas right here.
Change the plugs. And third, I'm certainly not gonna not test drive the car before I give it back to you to know that it's got rod knock. I would put the shit in, it would have rod knock, I would call you and I would tell you, hey, this motor that we bought is shit, it's got rod knock, we need to call them and warranty it. And we would call them and we would warranty the motor, then we would get another motor sent, and then we would put it back in. Now, would you owe labor on that? Yes, but I wouldn't be giving a customer his car back without having done those simple things. Like, it's so befuddling to me that people are in business doing business this way.
Yeah, but now it's actually on.
Welded?
It's not welded, but I mean it's in. And the best part is like, so I still have a handbrake, and then as soon as you do this, it fucking goes
I
down.
want one. So tough. That's cool. Alright, that's him. I think my car blew, by the way. Legit crazy ass smoke coming out of the back.
I already told you what it was.
Doesn't matter, it's still
Never
fun.
listen to me.
Bro, I've been driving that shit for 2 months like that.
What did you tell me it was?
Nothing.
He's
Nothing.
catalyst downpipe.
Nothing.
Yeah, because
Nothing
you
at
call
all.
me and Parker. Good fucking idea. At
mean?
9:30 at night, and he's a smartass. What do you expect? If you want to answer, just call me, and I'll tell you in 2 seconds what's wrong.
Of what?
It's true.
He says, guys, my car's smoking.
Josh said?
And Parker goes, you blew it up.
Bro, you can't ask anything.
And then
you can't ask Josh anything
before
at night.
Parker even answered the phone, he asked the question. I said, you need to gut a PCV because you have a catless downpipe. And then after 15 minutes of Parker being a douche, he's like, oh yeah, you're good at PCV.
You are? So.
You gotta do video of mine too.
Yeah, but we need to do an update on my car. We need to do what's in the box.
You have to do a video of
We
my
need to
car.
drop-
Motherfucker wants to do all that shit at 8 o'clock at night.
Dude, we talk about this every time.
Here it is, blown motor.
You need to pull it closer.
I can't. Shut up.
Well, she's still alive. Still needs some help.
What kind of help?
We definitely need to do a catch can that's worth a shit.
Do you want to take a look at how that is set up? Because I did it.
No, I mean,
So-
you don't even have to have anything set up wrong or anything like that.
It's just trash.
garbage. Yeah, I mean, you know, they make decent stuff for, you know, entry-level stuff, but for what we do, it's a little, leaves a little bit to be desired, you feel me? But your tune is back in, your octane adjustment ratio is back up to 1%, so 1.0. It runs good, it drives good, and then that's it. We need to get you a custom tune 100% A1.
So my worry is on the excess smoke.
It's 100% catless downpipe and the wrong catch can.
Perfect.
So the way that works is you put a downpipe in. Sometimes it does or does not have the oiling issue.
Right.
If you have the oiling issue, you start with the catch can.
Right.
If the catch can doesn't solve it, then the next step would be the gutted PCV. Those three things combined will completely eliminate it, but you don't necessarily have to jump into doing the gutted PCV and the catch can, because sometimes just the catch can will fix it.
Perfect.
But what we'll do is we'll get you the catch can from UPR on its way. We'll get that installed. If that doesn't fix it, the next thing would be the gutted PCV. All of these things are stuff that I got you on, no issue.
Right.
Handled.
Cool. See, I told you it was normal. It's fucking normal. What? The fucking thing. It's just we gotta get a catch can and we gotta get a gutted PCV valve. You wanna be over here talking shit? Put this in the vlog. But I was giving him a hard time.
So we went ahead and put Steeda struts in with BMR handling springs. We did tie rods, lower control arm, and steering. We upgraded those to all SLP stuff, so this should give me about another 30 degrees of steering angle for drifting. We ended up doing BMR camber bolts. BMR, if you can look up there, we did caster and camber plates to get me some extra camber and caster. So first time I'm doing it, so I'm not too good with suspension stuff yet, but I'm learning as I go. So it's been a long 3.5 hours so far, but the other side should go a bit smoother. We also got, what else we got? We got strut bar, we got UPR vertical links, UPR catch can, liquid vinyl splitter. We're gonna do an install video on that at some point when we have time.
So for the people that don't know, this car right here is going to be one of the 3 builds that are already being built. This one specifically is going to be a drift build. So look,
Come right here. We sent out our knuckles to Walker Pro Motorsports in Texas, and they modified the knuckle for me. They also sent me out all this stuff, so they're hooking it up with that. Install's not too bad. Just first time for it, so I'm not too sure how everything goes. But Russell over at Walker Pro Motorsports is helping me out with all the install. So yes, sir. Should be down on the ground tonight. I'll get some pictures for it.
this is not going to be this color for much longer. I know. I'm going to miss it.
You want me to turn that off?
You're alright. We're fucking around anyway. You okay, puppy?
I am overwhelmed, exhausted,
Nice.
miserable.
You know what you need? I'm gonna wrap this thing up. This was our first vlog. I don't like being in front of the camera that much. I rather record and shit. But it was our first vlog, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up. And we can probably do this shit again later on. So, peace out.
Got so many cars these days, I don't know what's what. The smart buy would be to fucking have them all be the same, but then the issue is somebody gets your shit and it's all the same. Thank you so very much, boss. We will see you again soon, I'm sure.